Hey, what's up? Just got out of court. Oh, God. It was rough. My camera lens is foggy. Straighten that up. What up, Britton? I see you called me this morning. I couldn't answer the phone when I was in traffic like crazy. It was a mess. What up, Tony? See who else in here. All right, we got 9 thumbs up. Damn, 33 people. What's up, y'all? It was exhausting today in court. Exhausting, but I learned a lot. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna give it another 2 minutes. Let people fill in here, and then we'll take it over. What's up? Hey, Eddie. Sharmita, what up? Thank you for covering the story. No problem. CB, what up? Virgo, what's happening? Hey, Hazel. Man, there's a lot of people, man. Y'all, I can't say hi to all y'all. Daniel Payne. Hey. What up, King? All right. I'll give it about 20 more seconds and we get started because it ain't really a lot I got to go with today. So I'm going to just try to do a Q&A with y'all real quick. We'll wait about 10 more seconds and we'll get it started. Ruthie 3690, what up? I'm trying to catch new names. All right, guys, I'm going to jump into this. Rakia McLean, what's up? All right, listen, I'm going to tell you something. I learned a lot doing these court cases. And I realized something. Court is not for the parents. I mean, for the victims' families. It's not for them. It's just something they go through when dealing with justice. ATL, shout out Alex Corbin. You know what I'm saying? This morning, we'll start from the beginning. Today, in the Tyre Nichols murder trial, day 2, they had Desmond Mills Jr. on the stand, right? Now, we got there a little bit late because it was miscommunication between me getting to the house. Now, part of the family was there already, and me, Rodney, and one of his daughters, we was late. So they do wait for you. So we got there like 9:05. They waited until we got there. As soon as we came through the door, they seen us okay, and they just went right into it. Now, I will give Memphis credit, and this might be all trials, but when it's time to start trial, they immediately go into it. Soon as we came in there, all rise for the jury. They saw we was there. They're like, all rise for the jury. Jury come in, sit down. Soon as the jury sits down and gets their pen and pad and they look straight, they just go right into it. So that, like I said today, Desmond Mills Jr., one of the 5 police officers, namely the one that batoned Tyre Nichols, took the stand, the fat guy. Now, I'm going to tell you something about him, because I had a close interaction with him today. Like, I mean, a close up and personal interaction. Like, I was right there next to him. Let me describe him. The picture that he has must have been taken, I guess he said he was an officer for 6 years. So I gave him 6 years ago. He don't look like that no more. If I could describe him, he's my height. I'm 5'10". He's in the upper 2s. 270, 280, he's overweight. He has rolled ankles and pigeon toes. He has really bad feet. And I'll tell you why I know all that in a second. But when I came in there, he was sitting on the stand. So I seen him, he walked in, sat on the stand, right? Because when we first came in, the jury sat down and he said, call a witness, and they called him. He comes in the main doors and goes up there. He had a all black suit on. He gets up there and the DA, district attorney, the prosecutor, first thing he says to him is, hey, they go through the whole spiel where they're like, yo, you're not here. You're here because you want to be here. We're not coercing you to do all this. You know that stuff they ask him. They go into it. So when they go into it, they're talking to him. And what they did with him, what the defense, what the prosecution did with him, because he was a witness for them, they put the video on. Now, they gave a warning, we're going to put the video on, and most of the people left out of the room. Now, before I get into that, let me say this too, because I don't want to go and then come back and get you all messed up. Yesterday was a media swarm. And it's always like this. It's a media swarm the first day, and then local news the next day. So All the seats where you couldn't get a seat yesterday, today I had a whole row to myself basically, because a lot of people didn't want to see the video. So they would put the warning out. Anybody that don't want to see the video leave, most of the family would leave. And like, you know, friends of the family leave. So like I was just in there. So I'm in there watching the videos. I mean, I've seen it so much. I'm like, it still bothers me, but I'm just like, now I've seen it so much. The shock and awe of it has worn off to where I can really focus on it. They're playing the video. While they're playing the video, they go to the first stop first. And the prosecutor, what the prosecutor's doing is, and it took a long time because we ran all the way to lunch. The reason why I ran to lunch was because of this. Imagine me putting up the first stop. Put up the first stop, roll the first stop. I make Desmond Mills identify everybody in the thing. Show the first stop again, because in these cases, you'll see the same videos being showed all the time. They might speed it up, they might slow it down. So they show the first stop to identify everybody. Then they get to the second stop where Tyre Nichols is getting beat. They played it, the whole thing, to where he was getting beat, but they were showing it from the sky cam thing. Remember, I took y'all out there when we first started covering this case, and then we went to Rawls Road and Rains or whatever, like Castlegate. We went to Castlegate Drive with the sky cop, and I showed you how close it was. They're showing it from that angle. That's the video they're showing. When they're showing this angle, they're making him stop. They're showing it, and then they're stopping and telling him who's who on the thing. They get to the part at the end, and check this out. This is why when you watch things and they blow your mind, and it's hard for you to watch it, sometimes the sheer, I don't want to say terror, but the sheer shock of it, and it sparks your emotions in certain ways to where you think you saw something, but you didn't see something. Come to find out, guys, today, when they cut all the lights out and they did the part at the end after Tyre Nichols was beaten, Desmond Mills was up there talking, and they were showing stuff. And they were showing, and I give it to the city of Memphis, when they released those tapes nationally, they released everything they had. I thought it was more stuff. They released everything they had. At the end, when they were talking, remember they were talking, they was like, yeah, and like, you know, Haley was doing all of that talking. You know who was doing most of the talking? There's, what's his name? The young one. Damn, my man, damn, I know these officers by heart. I got a mind blank. Justin Smith. He's the leader of the Scorpion team. He was doing most of the talking. Remember, they was like, man, I hit him with so many pieces and stuff. We all thought that was Haley. It was, what's his name? Justin Smith. Justin Smith, if you go back and look at the video, it's out there. He got his hat like this, like a common street dude. He got his hat on. He got a fitted hat on with a police suit. And he's out there talking. And Haley is talking too, but their voices run and interact, so you don't know who's who. Justin Smith was the one doing most of the talking. And I said, damn, that was Justin Smith doing all that talking. Remember, his lawyer trying to make him like he's the all-American cop, the one that was really about the cause. Because you got to remember, even though they're getting tried together, they're all trying to save each other's ass, and don't matter if they throw the other ones under the bus. Right in front of them, I told y'all yesterday, they talk about other clients, you know, people right there in front of them. So look, Justin Smith was doing all the talking. I thought it was Haley. It's Smith. Now, as they're showing the thing, they keep going back and showing something else. They were starting to get mad. The lawyers were starting to get mad because remember, it's still the time of the prosecution. So they can do pretty much what they want as long as it doesn't incriminate or try to sway the jury. He was just asking basic questions. Who's this saying that? Who's the one that said hit him? Who's the one that's... And what was funny is the lawyers got so mad because he was running it the way he was, because they was like, objection. They was like, normally you put a timestamp at the bottom. This is a court case and things have to be documented. You can't just say, if the transcript comes out, it's going to say who's saying this, who's saying it. We don't know what that's about. So they was kind of like trying to do little ticky-tack stuff. So every time Desmond Mills would say who said what, the lawyer would do like this. Your Honor, listen, he can't do this. Like, why is he doing? Why are you letting him do this? Why is he asking who's this? He's not doing the time. And like they were just piggybacking off each other, and it was the strangest thing. I'm like, yo, it's no order in here. I'm like, it's no order. They're like children. And then the judge was like, he's not doing anything, so I'm gonna strike that motion down. Like he's just asking the witness whose voice goes to who and who's saying what. Hey, Carl, what's going on? And people was getting mad as hell. Like the lawyers were getting mad as hell. You should see it. I kept looking at Rodney and laughing. They was rocking in their seats, mean as hell. I said, yo, after lunch, the cross-examination is going to be fierce because they mad. Because remember, yesterday they were trying to do, which is, basically what they accusing the prosecutor of doing, sway the jury to discredit Desmond Mills before he comes on the stand. They was doing that yesterday before these people even knew who Desmond Mills was. Desmond Mills came in there and was sitting up there, and he was just answering questions. Yes, no. He would wait 3 seconds, which you should do if you ever take the stand and you're getting cross-examined, or they coach you and they tell you, wait 3 to 5 seconds before you answer. It doesn't make you guilty, but you want to make sure the right thing comes out your mouth, because remember, it's all getting recorded. You know what I'm saying? So he was doing that. So it was taking a long time for him to answer questions. But after he was done with that whole thing, they sat down. Basically, what he was trying to do was give everybody an introduction, because they saw that video today with sound. And their faces was like, some of them kept doing like this. They didn't want to see it. When Tyre Nichols was screaming, and then when he was getting soccer kicked in the face, they kept looking to the side like, and you could see it was bothering. Some people was doing like this. Some people was, you know what I mean? Or people was acting like they was writing. Some people was wiping their eyes. It's not a good look. But anyway, it would give that reaction. But check this out. Second half, right? I said it's going to be good. I said now to cross-examine. These lawyers is mad. They already discredited him. The whole thing they're going to do in the second half of the day is try to discredit him and make it like he's only doing this because he's getting a deal. And they came right out just like that. John Perry was the first one. Tredarius Bean's lawyer. By any means necessary, he's going to try to get Tredarius Bean off. What I found out today, I ain't found this out, but it was verified today. When Desmond Mills Jr. came up and he sprayed that pepper spray, right? The kind of pepper spray that they have, you can't even buy. Police issue pepper spray is so vicious. They said they trained them in the academy, right? This is what they make them do in the academy. They train them to fight under pressure in case they get sprayed by their own stuff. They make them close one eye, and then the other eye, they spray just a drop of that stuff on their eyelid. Not in the eye, on the eyelid, and it burns through the eye and fucks them up. That's how bad it is, strong it is. Then after it's in their eye, they got to go and attack a dummy filled with water and see if they can put handcuffs on it and stuff while that's how they train them in the police academy. They said that shit today. I was falling out. So that's how you got to pass to be a cop. That's one of the things. So now he got all this stuff in his eye. All of them had stuff in their eyes, right? He goes to the side. Remember, he walked up to the side, and that's when, what's the name was coming up? Desmond Mills. Not Desmond Mills. What the fuck? Damn. I got all the names mixed up right now. This is strange, because I usually know this stuff. Emmett Martin III, the big one. The one that basically killed Tyre Nichols. He's running up. You can see him on the body camera. He came late. Emmett Martin III was driving the car with Tredarius Bean in it. Tredarius Bean is the one that chased down Tyre Nichols. I thought it was Justin Smith was the smallest. It was Tredarius Bean that chased him down and tackled him. So Bean tackled him. Martin was driving the car. I don't know if you guys remember, if you was keeping up with it, right? When Tyre Nichols, I did a video on this. Tyre Nichols was running through the neighborhood and he was hiding between cars, right? And they showed Martin I mean, not Martin. They showed Bean and Mills drive right past him. He seen him, then he took off the other way. They came around and seen him again. That's when Bean jumped out the car and chased him down and tackled him. And that's how they caught him 200 feet from his house. So Bean is the one that caught him. And then Justin Smith came up later. At the first stop, when they pull up and they stop, that one guy stops. Which way did he go? Where'd he go? He was in a gray, looked like a Charger. That was Justin Smith. Justin Smith was in the car by himself because he's a supervisor. So he had a gray Charger and he came to the scene late and then he took off the back way. You see what I'm saying? But anyway, Desmond Mills Jr., when he got out and started chasing, when Bean got out and started chasing Tyre Nichols, Desmond Mills Jr. got out the car and then had to go back because he didn't lock the car. So he ran for a second, he turned around, and he pushed the button, like that's a button to lock the door. Then he's running. They go off of his body camera today. So you see a different angle. So when he got sprayed with the mace on the ground and it messed his face up, he went off to the side. When he went off to the side, that's when they was giving him Tyre the business and doing all that stuff to him. So he never really saw it. He never seen it. So they was talking about that today. And they were like, you know, the lawyers were like, you're only doing this basically because you're getting the deal and it's going to be under 15 years. And I found this out too. The deal for Desmond Mills Jr., he faces a maximum of 15 years. The state is going to match because there was a lot of federal people in there today. And I think the guy next to me, Ramanucci, was the federal prosecutor of the case, the civil rights case. And remember, they're going to match the time. So Ramanucci was sitting next to me, and then Rovon Wells was next to him. So it was just us three on that whole row for a while. And Ramanucci's typing, but I'm looking at him and what he's writing. And I'm like, okay, I think he's the prosecutor, because I remember seeing him at the federal thing. So he's connected to the feds. They had all these federal people in there to watch and lawyers and stuff. Because they have state lawyers and they got federal lawyers too. The federal lawyers are in there to make sure no funny stuff happens, and they got to keep track of how much time they're going to get. This is how it's going to work. They're going to get charged because they're going to get whoever charges them first, right? The state is going to match, or vice versa. Now it's vice versa. The amount of time they get, they're going to run concurrent, meaning if you get 10 years in the state and 10 years in the feds, you're going to just do 10 years straight out. You know what I'm saying? Now, Fed time is 10 months instead of 12 months. So state time is regular time. So say they got 10 years, that's 120 months. If you're doing Fed time, 10 years is 80 months, right? No, it would be 100 months instead of 120. So they take almost 2 years off. If they do that, the other 2 years they're gonna have to do in state, because state don't run like the feds. A federal fiscal year of time served is 10 months, not 12. So they would still have to do time in the state. But they seem like they're gonna all do Fed time because they all got convicted. They're gonna do Fed time because they charged out. So they all gonna be in the feds. They're not gonna be in the state ever, probably, unless something happened. So that's the deal. So that was a big thing today. They kept trying to come at Desmond Mills like, you're only in here because of the deal. You don't know what you're getting, but you're here because of the deal. So he was asking questions. He was like, yeah, they said, how much time you gonna get? He was like, I don't know. And the thing's funny, when John Perry was talking to him, John Perry tried to do that lawyer shit on TV where he start raising his voice and acting theatrical. Judge, shut that shit right down. Like, look, you're yelling. You're yelling. You're asking questions he don't know, and you're trying to. So they shut it down, and then they had a little come back, their little meeting and shit, and he came back. He said a little bit more, and he was like, you know, Bean was in the car with you. Right now, he said Bean was in the car with you, but you didn't see Bean hit him. Now, here's another thing. Check this out. Remember when they was on the ground and they was punching? And Tyre was on the ground, they was punching him after Desmond Mills maced him? Because that was Desmond Mills' body cam. When they was like, Bean and what's his name was punching down on him? Check this out. Remember, I was like, yo, he did hit him. You know what's crazy? Look at the way they do in justice system, and like how like they do that soft technique and hard technique. You can punch somebody's hands. So they was like, he didn't hit him, he hit his hands. They slowed the thing down today, and they were punching and actually hitting his hands. But when you watch it in fast motion, it looked like they mollywopping him, because he was like, had his hands up. But I'm like, I think they were trying to punch him, but he just had his hands up and they was hitting his hands. But in the court, it counts as, oh, they hit his hands. Regardless of what they want to do with his face, they hit his hands. And it counts. A lot of things that you would think would be crucial in court, they just totally dismiss. You know what I'm saying? Like some things that were said or some things that was done that they just totally don't even pull that out of the air. You would think when a crime happens, they go in a timeline of what happened to get to a conclusion at the end. Some of the stuff they just throw away, like it's not even worth talking to. Or depending on how they think the jury is swayed, they might not even bring that shit up. And I'm learning all of this. I'm like, yo, this is real interesting how they do this. It all comes down to the most convincing lawyer. It ain't got nothing to do with the case. This is a big giant play. This is all this is. And it's amazing. But let me tell you something. This right here, y'all, and I want you to hear me. This is very hard to do. I thought it would just be easy. Sitting in a courtroom, I got out of there at 6. We got there like 9. I got out of there at 6. We had 2 10-minute breaks, right? And an hour lunch in 9 hours. So all of that testimony just sitting there. I was like nodding like crazy. I'm like, yo, I'm not even the type of person that gets tired like sitting around. It's rough. It was rough in there. And I'm like, man, I don't know, man. You know what I'm saying? But just imagine the families that have to go through this and they're sitting there trying to pay attention. And I mean, everybody was nodding in there, everybody, except for the reporters. They was over there on their screens and like, you know. But another thing is, John Perry did this, and this is crazy how he did this. He raised his voice at Desmond Mills, like, you don't know what Bean was doing. 'Cause remember, they only talking about their people. He got up, he said, he walked out of the court part, you know, the little doors they walk in. He walked out where the fence was. And, you know, the people, the officers, he walked over, he made Bean stand up and Justin Smith. He made both of them grab his arms, and he was talking to Haley. I mean, not Haley. He was talking to Mills, and he was like, when what's the name was hitting, he was like, when Desmond Mills, when he said when Emmett Martin was hitting Tyre Nichols and kicking him, where was their hands? And he made both of them grab his arms like Tyre Nichols. He said, what were they doing? And they were just holding me. He was like holding their hand. He was like, when he got punched in the face, what was they doing? He's like holding the hands. So he was trying to say like Bean didn't touch him. He was like, Bean didn't touch him. So it's like they constantly try to like fight for each one. So that was his case, where he was like, Bean didn't touch him. You know what I'm saying? You was blind. You couldn't see nothing. You know what I mean? And all this other stuff. Then they get to, man, the hardest lawyer to deal with is Demetrius Haley's lawyer. He boring. He talks slow. He got PowerPoints that like, man, I can't even remember what he said, y'all. And I paid attention. Me and Rodney was like, yo, he said a whole bunch of nothing. All he did was talk about the timestamp of when Justin Smith and not Justin Smith, Desmond Mills Jr. went to the house of Tyre Nichols with Field Lieutenant Dwayne Smith, and he tried to see if he caught him in a lie because he was talking about protocol. And I didn't know that when officers, you know, when you see them body cam footage things, what they do is one officer knock on the door, depending on how many they are. It's policy for another officer to go back far enough away from the house. So he's like a cameraman, even though he's still there to support the other police officer. He's there as a cameraman to monitor the whole situation in case something go awry and they got to use this in court. That's what Desmond Mills was doing. That's why he was so far back when Field Lieutenant Dwayne Smith was talking to Tyre Nichols' dad and mom at the door. Because I'm like, why is he standing back there? He was always in the back, and he just sat there. That was his job, just to watch it from a distance. But anyway, when he got done and he's walking back with Field Lieutenant Dwayne Smith, the supervisor, he says this: we did everything by the book. Demetrius Haley's lawyer brought that up because he said in the federal case, remember they just had the Fed case, so they still got the transcripts from that. They was trying to trip him up like, yo, in the Fed case, you said this. So he said, in the Fed case, you said y'all didn't do everything by the book. Would you agree or disagree? He said, yeah. And then he said, put the camera on. And he showed that he said, oh, he lied to Lieutenant Dwayne. He said, why did you lie? That's when I found out. He said, well, he said, you see the sky cop camera? I didn't see it until the next day. And I gotta be honest, they was trying to rattle him, but I'm gonna tell you something. And this is just my opinion. I think Desmond Mills Jr., I don't want to use the word slow, but I don't know another word to use. I think he kind of slow. The way he was answering, there are no mic. Listen to this shit, y'all. It's no air conditioning there. The air conditioning's broke. It's hot as fucking air. I don't know if it's the whole 5th floor or not. That's why a lot of people wasn't in there neither. It's hot in the room. It's hot in the room. They have no AC. This is a national or international trial. Big case. They have no AC. And in addition to that, the microphones don't work in there. So they had to keep telling Desmond Mills, you got to speak up. The judge is right next to him like, bro, I can't hear you. You got to speak up. We all are in the front and everybody's like, I can't hear shit. The reporters behind me, the media bench, they're like, we can't. I'm like, yo, I can't hear nothing either. Yo, it's all over the place. It's hot and it's no mics. I'm on the seat like this in front of me, like the pew, the wooden thing, and there's people up there. I'm like, I gotta hear this. I'm like this, all on people. I can't hear. Yo, hood court, this shit crazy. So anyway, right? They told him about 4 or 5 times that they raise your voice, raise your voice. And he would raise his voice and then he would go back. But mostly he was answering a lot of yes and no stuff. But this the funny part. They call the second break before the last lawyer goes to interrogate him. I didn't eat at lunch because it was a mix up of what time the food was supposed to come, because we was ordering food. And I was like, I'm just going back in there because I don't want to miss it. I'm down here to report this for y'all, so I have to go in there. That's the thing. I'm forced to go in there. I can't come out and take a break because I'll miss something. So I'm in there, and I'm like, I'm hungry as hell. I'm like, I can't take this. So I'm like, I got to go get something to eat. And there's a Subway downstairs. So I'll run downstairs real quick and get some Subway in 20 minutes, because when you're in a court case, you can see what they're talking about, what they're staying on, what lawyer's interviewing. You get what you get from. I'm like, okay, I can take a break. I go to leave. Right before I go to take a leave and go down there, right? I tell Rodney, hey, I'm gonna go get something to eat. They call 10-minute break, right? When they call 10-minute break, remember, it wasn't a lot of people in the room. Rodney and the family was outside in another side room where they could watch the court case from there. I get up, it's me, Ramanucci, right here. He's putting his computer up. So I'm standing there waiting, right? Ramanucci gets up, he's walking out. As he's walking out, Desmond Mills comes through the bench part and he comes out with us. Now, Desmond Mills is not locked up. He's free. So he's with Bowlin, his lawyer, right? So he comes out because he doesn't need a police escort. He comes out right in front of me. It's like in church where you come out, like somebody walk by and then you come out right behind them. But it's a line of people trying to get out of here because it's hot. They're trying to get out the courtroom. So I'm right next to him. He's right in front of me. I'm right next to him. And he looks me in my face. I know he knows who I am. So he looks me in my face, doesn't say nothing. And the cop they said to the cop, the Fed people, hey, he's going to the bathroom, go with him. So now it's me, it's him in front, me, and then the cop that's supposed to go with him, the sheriff, behind him. So when we come out, I'm walking, it's me, it's him, Me, I'm walking directly next to him. Like we was together, like we know each other. I'm walking directly next to him. So I'm like, I'm not going to say anything to him if he doesn't say anything for me. I don't have a dog in this fight. I just, I want to see how, you remember, because I was like, I want to see what they look like. And he goes in the bathroom. And as he's going in the bathroom, I drop my phone. The cop goes past me. So now it's them three. I got to pee bad as hell. It's 3 urinals. Naturally, they pick off. I got to go in the middle. So I'm right next to Desmond Mills, right? We get done. I get done before them. I'm washing my hands. He washing his hands. The cop still over there going to the bathroom. I look at him in the mirror, right? So I'm here, he there. The water in the bathrooms, y'all, man. I ain't never seen no shit like this. The water in the bathrooms. Imagine turning on your faucet to where you get a steady stream. Remember they say in the wintertime, just run it to where it won't cut off. When you turn the things on, that's how they run. I said, why are they doing this? Where the fuck the water at? You know what I'm saying? So we got to be there for a while to get the water on your hands. So I'm going to dry my hands off. And as I'm going to dry my hands off, I look in the mirror again, and he's looking at me. I guess he see me because, I have a hat on in there. He see me with the hat on. When you see me with the hat on, you lock eyes with somebody that you see, that's, So I looked and I doubled. I looked and seen him. I was grabbing the thing. I looked. And I seen him, and he did just like this. He doubled, looked, and he never said nothing, and he just dried his hands off. And that was it. I'm like, yo, he knows who I am. You know what I'm saying? So I just left out. But like that was the closest I was to him. But let me say this too real fast. And I mean, I don't know these people. I don't respect what they did. I don't have no reason to say I hate these people. But I will tell you this, and I said this before. I mean, I run my channel being honest with y'all. Even though they did bad things, I think Desmond Mills and what's his name, especially Desmond Mills today when I seen him, and Justin Smith, I don't think they're bad people. They did some fucked up shit. But like outside of, they don't, especially Mills. And I was talking to a family member yesterday. I can tell you who it was. You'd be surprised who it was. They brought this up before I said, because I said I'd never seen him. And they told me I don't think he's a bad person. And when I went in there today and I seen him and the way he acts and carries himself, I'm like, he don't, but see, this is another thing. This is another thing. They asked him in court. They said if Tyre Nichols and you wasn't blind and you was hitting him, because they said you were supposed to hit him with the baton only once, but he hit him 3 times and he hit him in his arm. I thought he hit him in his face. Because remember I said, when you watch these videos and you see all of this stuff and you try to put it together and like you still enraged from seeing it, he only hit him in the arm. I thought he hit him in the face because he had those marks on his face. Those marks came from getting chipped up from, they said it today in court. And I'm like, damn, he was swinging as hard as he could. But they asked Desmond Mills, they said, you're supposed to swing one time as hard as you can because they said the baton is made to where you get a lingering pain that it's called pain compliance. It won't cripple you, but it'll hurt for a while the way you don't want it again. That's basically what they're saying. And he said, did you hit him as hard as you could? He said, no, I didn't. He said he cried after it was over with because he knew Tyre Nichols was in bad shape. So it leads me to believe, according to police protocol, Desmond Mills did what he was supposed to do, using the baton, because it's up the option to him to use the baton because he came and they couldn't get him down. They couldn't get the hands around their claim. You know what I'm saying? But he said something and it stuck with me. He said, I didn't hit him like the manual says to hit him. He said, I hit him 3 times. And the guy said, you hit him 3 times as hard as you can? He said, no, I didn't hit him as hard as I could because he knew Tyre Nichols was messed up. You know what I'm saying? But he didn't do anything either. And I know he was blind. He didn't see all the kicking and stuff, but damn, it shouldn't be that hard to put handcuffs on somebody that was hanging and come on. I still ain't buying that. You know what I mean? But I'm going to tell you this. After that, they rested their case at the end, and then the prosecutor went back up there and talked to him. The prosecutor, because the last lawyer was the last lawyer make me laugh, man. Justice Smith lawyer, the one to be trying to get all cool with the jury and stuff. He tried to talk to you low on the level, like you're like, he's on your level. And then he also tries to talk to you and slip things in there to get you to say, yeah, like trip you up. You know what I'm saying? But he's like, kind of like, yeah, you know how it is, right? You're doing this, you're doing it. Because like he was putting words in Desmond Mills' mouth. And Desmond Mills, they must have coached him well because he was sitting there and he was like, no, I didn't say that. Or he'd be like, no, I can't remember that. No, But if they caught him in a lie, he was like, yeah, well, I did say that. And then he would come back, he's like, okay, well, this is what it is. But see, the thing is this, everybody knows this. All the lawyers and prosecutors know that he done slipped up and said things and all this stuff. And so only thing it's new to is like people that had never seen it before, like me. So they're doing this stuff to try to persuade the jury that this guy is unreliable. I think they failed today. I think they failed because the whole video, this whole trial, guys, I want you to hear it, is about 20 minutes of film footage of a guy getting beat to death. And police that didn't follow protocol. This is not going to last 2 weeks. I would be shocked. I was talking to Ron Minucci. I said, I don't think it's going to last 2 weeks. He was like, you'll be surprised sometimes. Like, I was like, man, I don't think it's going to last. And he was like, so we'll see. Because, I mean, they running through it. They not messing around. Memphis court, they go through that. They going through it quick. It ain't like the feds. They do a lot of stopping and starting. They running this thing straight through. They tired of this. They want this shit to go away. But yeah, that's pretty much it, man. What happened in court? It wasn't really exciting, like where a bunch of yelling and like looking crazy and stuff. I mean, it was a couple of funny parts, but they wasn't really something where you'll be like, yo. But I mean, for the most part, court is very boring. I gotta be honest, it's like church, man. I ain't lying. I mean, y'all, I'm learning as I go, and it's a good experience because I mean, this stuff you see in court that you would never, the media don't report on it because it's like it would be considered like filler, and it takes away from the original story. But like being there and seeing it, I'm like, man, especially when you see these people, because when you hear about a horrific crime on TV, these people seem larger than life. But then when you get up on them, you're like, damn, it's a regular dude. And like, I'm like, what possessed them to do that type of stuff? I want to see if Emmett Martin III comes because tomorrow we don't know who's coming. Desmond Mills is done today. You know what I'm saying? This is how they ended it. Reason why I brought up Justin Smith lawyer, the one that act like he real cool. Shout out Philippines. You know what I'm saying? Andre Rhodes. He got up there and he was talking to him about being an officer and pepper spray and handcuffs and stuff like that, right? After he got done talking to him, the prosecutor got up, and I swear, he speaks so low. And he's like, I'm going to say what I got to say, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, you can't get out of it. This is it. This is what he said. When the lawyer was talking to Desmond Mills, the last lawyer, Justin Smith lawyer, before the prosecutor talked, he was like, yeah, you had to pull out the ass baton and hit him. He's like, I understand how it was. You got sprayed in the face. You got pissed off. You ran over there. You pulled out the baton. You want to end this with Mr. Nichols because it shouldn't take that long to put handcuffs. You just want to end it. You're tired of this. He's whipping your butts over there. He tried to trip up Desmond Mills Jr. He said, would you agree? Desmond Mills was like, yeah, like, yeah. And I said, Then he said right after this, the lawyer said right after this, lawyer said, you said this is the hardest arrest you ever had to make. The hardest, because remember they trying to say like, what's his name is crazy and strong and all this, they still sticking to that. He said, when you hit somebody with the baton and you mace them And they still keep coming. Hear the wording he used. He said, what does that make you think? And the guy says, they're on drugs. He said, thank you. And he walked off because remember, they still trying to say he was on some type of drug-induced psychosis that made him like the Incredible Hulk. You understand what I'm saying? Which ain't flying. I don't think anybody's buying that. This is what the prosecutor did. Prosecutor got up and said, just like this. He said, I'm going to be quick. He said, Mr. Mills, who was the smallest person out there? Said Tyre Nichols. Then he said, did he punch anybody? Did Mr. Nichols punch anybody? No. Did he kick anybody? No. Did he, I think he said bump anybody? It was something about fighting, you know, stuff with fighting. He was like, no. He said, and how was he kicking your butts? How was he kicking anybody's butt? He wasn't talking to Mills when he said it, but he's like, how was he kicking anybody's butts? And he looked at the lawyer. See what I'm saying? The lawyer was trying to make it like he was kicking your butt. Y'all couldn't get him. He was this, he was that. Then he said, well, how was he kicking anybody's butt when he didn't punch nobody, didn't kick nobody, didn't resist at all, and all of a sudden, because they were trying to make it like Tyre Nichols just wouldn't put his hands behind his back. The man was scared. Then when you get an adrenaline kick and you see people that are trying, that look like they're trying to kill you, because a lot of people, this flew over a lot of people's heads. You know, I'll be covering stories. Sometimes I miss stories. Around the time Tyre Nichols had got beaten, like in 2023, they had a rash, and people out here in Houston know, they had a rash. I mean, not in Houston, in Memphis. They had a rash of people running around acting like police, carjacking people, mask on. You don't believe me? Go look it up. It was around that time. So when they jumped out the car and was acting like a street gang, he just took off and left the car. You know what I'm saying? And they're like, why did he run? He was getting his ass beat, and they wasn't professional like police. I would have ran too. Most people would have ran. He was saying, no, stop, please. Like, I'm trying to do what you're saying. And they were beating his ass. And he's not somebody that gets in trouble. Fight or flight. He's not going to fight them. So he what? He flew. So what's the deal? And when he said that at the end, I said, that sums it up right there. And he just walked off. And they was like, all right, that concludes it for the day. We looked up. It was like 5:45. I got in here. It was like 10 minutes to 6, 10 minutes to 7. So I just got here. I ain't took a swig of the dew or nothing. My resources, my body's depleted right now. But anyway, that's today's update. Listen, guys, I'm going to be honest with you. I can't do videos like I do where I make 6 videos today. This is exhausting. I mean, I never knew it was going to be like this. This is exhausting. The Fed case was exhausting. But 2 weeks of this, I told Tony, I said, when I come home, I'm going to lay in that bed for 3 days. Knowing damn well I'm lying. Once I get in there and them studio lights hit me, the stock market want to be back. But trust me, it's hard. It is hard. You know, I stay in the room, so I'm managing my finances. But we can do some Q&A if you want. Y'all want to talk about something? Y'all got any questions? Anything I've seen? Anything I know? And look, I am drinking water. This is my 4th bottle since I've been here in 3 days. So I don't want to hear nobody saying I ain't drinking water. The stock market one is well hydrated with the pinky up. I hate this shit. Just deal with it. Shit. Fuck. So stop sending me questions in the email. Am I drinking my water? You just seen it. And it's drink halfway down. Any questions? Y'all got any questions about anything with the trial so far? No? Yeah? I appreciate you too. Are you planning to come to the Philippines? No, I ain't planning to come to the Philippines. See, somebody said, is that vodka? No, I don't drink. I definitely don't drink. If I drink, I'd really look old. In that hot ass courtroom. But yeah, and they bring water and let you drink water too. That's the thing that's cool. You know what I mean? They bringing water right now. Can you mention the feet and ankles of Desmond? Yeah, he has rolled ankles, and like his feet are like this. And when he walks, it's like, I mean, that shit, oof. I was like, man, I just seeing him, I was like, there's no way he could chase after somebody. It's no way. He said he played football. I didn't know he was Jamaican. He's of Jamaican descent. Yeah, this is hot. It ain't hot water. It's just water that's sitting here. I better drink this shit. I don't want the bacteria to kill me. Is Hempfield going to testify? They didn't say anything about him, so most likely no. They don't even talk about him. They brought him up a couple of times, but he's not somebody that they even need his testimony. Yeah, Desmond Mills is Jamaican. Christopher Sher trial. Who's that? I don't know who Christopher Sher trial is. Are you going to be there for the whole trial? Yes, I'm trying to stay here for the whole trial. If it goes past 2 weeks, I have to leave. I can only be here 2 weeks. I got a business I got to run. I'm going to be way behind in my work. But hopefully, I think it's going to be probably like next Tuesday or Wednesday, it's going to be something. And the deliberation on this is not going to be long. It's going to be just like the Tyre Nichols case, 4 or 5 hours. I think so. Because, I mean, this one is way different. The civil rights case was a harder case to come up with a verdict. The judge, because it deals with social type of issues and how people see things. This right here, black and white. The camera don't lie. What you say? So Tyre was dating. Oh, that's another thing. They shut that down in the beginning. Tyre was not dating one of the exes of those cops. They all shut that down. Desmond Mills shut that down. He was like, no, none of us knew him. No. Another thing is, today, Desmond Mills, I hate, see when you get old, you forget, it's right there and then it slips. I'm trying to hold on to the thread of it. It'll come back to me. Anyway, but yeah, it was, he didn't know him. They all established that. So it's no such thing. Oh, this is what I want to tell you. Prior to Tyre Nichols dying, him and Rodney Wells worked together at FedEx. They worked in 2 different areas, but they worked together at FedEx. I never knew that because he got Tyre Nichols a job over there. So if Tyre Nichols was there and he was messing with somebody because he was living with them, they would have knew about it. So it's no such thing. The girl, it's no, that rumors, that's nothing. So they just beat his ass just to be, yes, that's the thing. That's why these lawyers are scrambling. They were pressured to make arrests, right? Here's another thing. Damn, I done unplugged my damn light. Give me a second. Oh my God, embarrassing. I got a snafu, hold on. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I kicked the cord. Yeah, Paul Hagerman, that's his name. What was I talking about? I just lost my thought that fast. It was what? What was that question? Let me go back up. Oh yeah, they just beat him to beat him. Yeah, listen. Today it was found out that the Scorpion team, this is what they played psychological games on them. They would be in different parts of Memphis at different times, right? And it was their job to get guns, drugs, and people that have warrants and money off the street. And they had this thing where they have to do aggressive tactics. Like if they see you like go through like a yellow light that's turning red, they have the right to go and do something to you, grab you. Or if they see you doing something that they think something wrong, they give them the green light to go over there and like bother you or jump out on you or something. That I ain't feeling that. I'm not feeling that. No, they talked about C.J. Davis today, you know, in court, but they ain't really say nothing about her, just about the training, and then she the one that started it. But that's it. They didn't really say too much. But they was giving them the green light to run up on people. Probable cause, just go up and up. Got a Jiffy Pop on. Think it's drugs in the car. Got a guy in the back. Yeah, that's not cool. Then the thing is, their cars don't have body cam or dash cam stuff. Come on. They the only police cars that didn't have have dash cam stuff in it. And their lights are hidden inside the car. So they just run up on people and they jump out with ski masks and everything. Yesterday when they was talking about the Scorpion team, the lawyer was talking like they was the Green Berets, like they get called to do a job nobody else can do. They come out of the air in helicopters like SEAL Team 6 and shit. I'm like, look how they trying to make this shit blow up in front of these jurors. So they were trying to explain what the Scorpion team was. Yeah, Scorpion team, they this, like they were some commandos. They had the crime down by such and such, this and that. That's what they were saying. But this is the thing. Desmond Mills today said something in the beginning. I said, yo, they play them out psychologically. This is what they do in the morning meetings. They have them go do stuff, and then they put pressure on them, right? And then they rah-rah them and pat them on the back. Yeah, Scorpion Team 1, you're the best. You're the best. Go out there. And so it's a whole bunch of pressure on them and inflated egos that they are the ones that the city depends on them. And they running out there fucking people up and they not saying nothing about it. Because a little ass whipping happens all the time in hoods with police, different places. But when something bad like that happens where they can't find no crime, so they just pick somebody, that's real bad. That's why this story intrigued me. I'm like, yo, I got to get on this. I've never seen this. I've never seen somebody just pick somebody and just beat them up like that. Because, I mean, honestly, at any given time, 5 or 6 functional men that are all bigger than a little man they're beating up, regardless if they knew the story or not. Because if you really pay attention, the only person that knew the story was fake was Emmett Martin, because he's the one that picked Tyre. The rest of them are responding to his calls because they ain't had no work. And now they running and he's building this thing up like he won't stop. He's this, he's a maniac. So all of these people come, pull him out the car, start acting a fool off the strength of a fucking liar. And this is why things are the way they were. Man was just driving. It's a mess. It's a whole bunch of shit. It was listen to this. And they were talking about motions to take out of the court. Do you know text messages from Demetrius Haley? And I want you to hear me. He said in the text message, and they're not going to put this in court or the media. He said, I hate my race. What the fuck? They read that shit in court yesterday, like before it started. They was doing the motions when it first started. He said, I hate my race. They pulled that out. So it's not going to be in court. I said, wow. When I heard that, I was like, that's why it's no holds barred to him. It's no holds barred. I was like, I never heard that shit before. You know what I'm saying? Man, that's all I got to say about it. Damn, it's almost an hour we spent. Listen. If I'm here 2 weeks, we're going to get, because remember, the Stevie After Dark is a 4-part series. I only did that first part. Friday nights live, I'm going to do Stevie After Dark, part 2. Next week, if I'm here, I'm going to do Stevie After Dark, part 3. Because I can't do this when what's the name is there, when Tegan is there. But, man, yeah, y'all are still tripping off of that. He said, I hate my own race. When he said that, I was like, I just looked at him like, everybody was like, I never heard that. Like, that's rough to say something like that. I mean, you hate yourself. Anyway, man, that's it, man. It's hot. I forgot to turn the air on. It's kicking in now. But I'm gonna get off of here, man. I'm done. You know what I'm saying? But I'll be down there tomorrow and we'll see what happens. Hopefully something exciting happens. But like, this is the time where people hardly come to the court case because the magic done wore off, the cameras are gone, and we'll see what happens. But I'll be in there to give you guys whatever I can. So I'll see you guys later on. I love you as always. And thank you, and share the video if you could. I'll see you. Bye.